Hello everyone, and welcome to the Locksmith documentary, episode number 18. Today we're going to be installing an electronic strike on this heavy-duty gate. This is an exterior gate, and the posts are 1/4-inch steel, which is extremely thick, as you can see here. They've mounted the box on the gate side, so it'll accept conventional hardware. I also had to inform them of their fairly major security flaw, so they will be adding more mesh to this so that you can't reach through like I just did and open it up. We're going to start off by taping off the area. You do this so that it protects the area and you can draw directly on it. I locate exactly where the strike is, and then I literally just set the electronic strike on the blue tape and trace out the thickness of the body of the lock and the depth of the body of the lock directly onto the tape here. This gives me my template and centers everything so that we can cut it out with this angle grinder. You cannot use a router. The steel is far too thick to do that. That's why we have to do it this way. So I will make the first cut on both corners, top and bottom, and then I will plunge cut the side cuts. Simply take a flat blade screwdriver and pop the metal chunk that you have cut out of the way, and it leaves this nice hole, as you can see here. Plug your strike directly in. And this was such a nice tight fit, it really didn't need the scar plate on there, but we put it on there anyways. Since the steel, again, is so thick, I had to pre-drill the holes for the screws, and we can't use the typical screws. We had to use some pretty heavy-duty metal screws specifically designed for this. Now, I did go ahead and mount the strike plate on there, even though it was still pretty clean, and that's how you install an electronic strike on this.
Hey, I'm Wayne here with Tri County Locksmith Service, and this is Brendan with Amos Jewelry, and we just opened up this tan high security safe for them. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about the story behind this thing and what we did today.
This safe is 42 years old and has been in this jewelry store for the last 40 years. The owner passed away last June and we were having trouble with it, and I've been worried for a week and a half about not being able to open it. I found Wayne and he was able to open it in an hour and a half. We were ecstatic with the work he did, and he's professional and everything like that.
Really thank you. I really appreciate it. And this safe has some sentimental value behind it too, doesn't it? So it's real important that we don't damage it and destroy it in any way, which go ahead and tell a little bit about the different people that you called and what they said.
I've called 9 different people out of Denver. We live in Northeast Colorado and Ray. To get anybody out here, I was told no multiple times. I found somebody, they said they had to do some research. I was on a week and a half, and my mother-in-law, who's the boss, this was her late husband's, and he was able to save it with just the new lock, and we're going to be able to continue keeping his safe in his store and carry on his legacy.
That's great. I'm really happy I could help you out today.
Thank you very much.
Call 970-945-5625 for a consultation to open your safe or vault today.
Alrighty, so pretty common problem, Baldwin door. The latch is not retracting all the way. Like you can see, it doesn't go in all the way. Now from the inside it goes a little bit more, but it should go in just a little bit further than that. So we'll take it apart and see what we can do to fix that. All right, so you are fixed now. We had to do a lot on this door in order to get this to work. Basically, we had to take this whole part right here apart and rebuild it, bend that internal mechanism so that it would go up further, so it would release. And you can see with one finger, I can open the door. You'll also notice how the latch goes in way more than it did before. From the outside, again, one finger. It's all it takes to open that door, okay? One finger. We do that again. One finger just to open the door, see? That's it. So super easy. Also, the top lock was not aligned at all and was very difficult. You basically had to put your shoulder into it and body check it. Now it works again with one finger. Okay, so everything is good. We had to do some work on the frame side. I had to re-drill some holes. We had to remount the strike plates. Had to rebuild all of this. I did make a key, and I'm gonna put your key, show you that it's locked here. Make sure that I got all my tools. I do. So I'm gonna lock the top, which locks easily now. And then I'm gonna lock the bottom as well, okay? So everything is locked up, top's locked.
Now we're going to go ahead and open up this old F3 or F-150. It's always nice to pick up lockouts along the way. They're not our primary business. However, an extra $130 to $150 is always nice in the bank account. Next up, we see this old Framon number 2 key machine. This thing has been through war. It has been through 3 different vehicle wrecks and outlasted each one of those service vehicles. Framon builds the toughest key machines on the planet. Oh my goodness, this was quite a fun one to deal with. This was a victim of vandalization. You can see that we're drilling on it now. I actually did try and pick this lock to begin with, but it would not turn. I drilled the lock out and it still would not turn. As you can see here, I've got pliers, I've got the pins completely drilled out, and this lock is just simply not having it. It is not opening. Well, that's because somebody damaged it and glued the internal parts together. So we're gonna have to come up with another way to get in. And the only way that I could really think of is to cut the lock in half and hopefully not damage the container itself. So I used my angle grinder, as you can see here, and then voila, it pops right open once we have that split. I knew that there would be a catch and a post on one side, and hopefully I was going to just reach right down the middle of it, and we did. And here you can see that lock cylinder, and you can see what a puck lock like this one from Master Lock looks like when it's cut completely in half. This was an all-out nuclear option, but unfortunately when something's glued in, that's the only option that we have. You can see even when I have it cut in half, it still didn't want to let go. I had to actually get my Dremel tool up in there and get it to turn over because somebody had glued this post in place. So this was a very bizarre lockout, very bizarre setup. I obviously don't like when we have to cut things like this or go all out nuclear. We'd obviously like to pick this lock or just have a simple drill or something like that. However, it wasn't having it. This one here really was a pretty difficult and nasty job to get done. However, we never fail. We always make sure that we get it open, and to date, they still haven't made a container that could keep me out. For more information, check out more episodes of the Locksmith documentary. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Hey everyone, this is Wayne here with Pacific Lock Company and Pack Blue by Pack Lock. This is a Pelican case demo unit that you can literally have in your van or in your shop. You could set this up in your shop, but really within the Pelican case unit, you can actually send this out with your technicians. I have used this system and been able to sell it right on the spot because I had this directly right in my truck ready to go. I'm going to show you what's inside here real quick. You just pop these little clips. It's a very compact, very eye-catching little unit. And as soon as you pull it out, you really have your customer's attention. It has this laminated portion here so you can tell them all about the features. And this is the easiest to install hardwired electronic access system on the market, hands down. This is your power supply. It's this big. It's the size of a pack of cards or a deck of cards, for crying out loud. This is your power supply, and this is your reader. It communicates with your phone app so that you can actually operate the unit. And if people ask, well, there's no keypad on the outside, there's no reader on the outside, there's no credential reader, it's a clean installation. And you can literally show them how this works just by using the external device right here. This pops off and allows you to add a 9-volt battery. So if your customer asks you, hey, what happens if the power goes out on my building? How do I actually operate this system? Well, you hook that 9-volt battery up right to this right here. You could install it on the outside just like a mechanical key override, and then your blue light will come on, and you can literally show them how their system would work. Here's the button on the back to go ahead and release. And you can also show them how the app works. You can connect this to your phone, to your text phone. They can show how the app works. They push the button, it unlocks, or you can show them how the button works right here. Okay, super easy, super clean, super cool, and it shows them and gives them an idea of how this system works right in their hand. Okay, so this is the electronic strike version that they're going to give you with the 9-volt battery. The other one, they're going to give you a magnetic locking system. It's going to plug directly into your transformer. We could plug this into the 9-volt battery unit too, but I actually have this set up to where it's plugged right into power. So you literally just grab your power cord, and this is, instead of hiring an electrician and having a power supply, that's all you do. Then it brings the light on to blue, as you can see here. Click. You show them that the magnetic lock works, just like that. The mag lock works right there. And then when you hit the button on the app, click, and the magnet comes off. Okay, power comes back on, magnet sticks back on. You can literally put this in your customer's hands, let them touch it, let them feel it, let them see it, and it looks awesome. It looks like it's new and fresh and secure more than anything else, with no external keypads. This is the future of electronic access. For more information, check out the website below. Please call or email your supplier and ask them for the Pacific Lock Company's Pack Blue system, and ask them for this demo case right here so that you can show this to your customers and start selling this today. You can also get monthly recurring revenue from products like this, because there's a monthly subscription that goes along with it that you can actually get a piece of, so you can earn money long term. Every time you sell one of these systems, you get monthly recurring revenue for your business and your company. Thanks for watching. Check out Pack Blue by Pack Lock. Thanks for watching.
So in order to get that off, we gotta push in this D10 here, take the knob off, and then push in this one here. See. And then the little faceplate comes off. Goes.
I wanted to really document this Schlage combination knob and deadbolt lock, because as you could see in the previous videos, if you don't know about the little detent that's in the bottom of the faceplate, it can really give you a hard time trying to search for that. I know the first time I ran into one, it took a while to figure it out, but just wanted to share that with everyone so you can see exactly what you're getting into. This lock had just been atrociously soaked with very thick oil-based lubricant and was just really, really nasty inside. Once we got everything together, I had to beat the pins out of the lock, and they would barely come out. Even with the key blank shoved in, I still had to pick some of them out by hand using the tweezers, as you can see here. So we had to soak this thing in some brake clean and some solvent and really get it cleaned up so that we could put everything back together again. Obviously, the resident handyman decided to try things first. Once you have it apart, it should rekey just like a conventional lock. Schlage, typical key spacing and depths. You can configure this in 5 or 6 pin, whichever you prefer. It'll accept a 6-pin key. I always like to try and do 6 pins if we can to increase the security as much as possible. and then you simply pop it back into that sleeve that it gets housed in, and then there's a little clip that goes on the back, and now it's ready to be put back together. Okay, so we have this Schlage deadbolt lockout. Now, normally we would just try and go for the lock pick. We'd get our LISHI tool out and try and pick that, but it's going to have security spool pins in there. Might not be the easiest pick. However, look at this giant gap here, okay? I can see the bolt. Now that doesn't mean that it's thrown all the way, and a lot of times it's worth it to try. And let's see if we can get this to go here. Look at that. This one is not engaged all the way, which means I don't have to pick that lock. So had the deadbolt been engaged all the way, it would be dead. However, this one was engaged about like there, which allows me to retract it with this little tool. That usually is because that these aren't drilled out far enough. So always check that first. There's another quick way to where if you run into a situation that I would highly suggest recommending to see if that deadbolt is actually all the way dead or if it's only partially engaged, to where you can use a tool to depress the bolt back in. Here we are back to the hustle and grind. Living in Colorado, this is what it's like being a locksmith in Colorado. You gotta put in long days and put up with the weather and the snow and blizzards. Here we're going to be installing the Lockley C-Series C150 hook bolt. This is my favorite lock for sliding glass doors. In fact, this is the only solution that I actually offer my clients, and it's because of the ease of installation and the way that it works. I usually will bypass the internal components anytime possible because those are so fickle and hard to line up, and they wear out easily, and the new replacement parts are just very, very difficult to deal with. If the customer insists that we do that and absolutely will not let us use this option, then by all means we'll do that. However, this is really the cat's meow as far as I'm concerned for sliding glass doors. Plus, it also gives them the opportunity to have a keyless entry, which is what almost everybody wants these days. Talking people into getting keyed locks is becoming more and more difficult. So that's why this is a nice little setup right here. So it's all about just drilling 3 holes, super easy to install, lining everything up, lining up that top hole, and then putting in the correct thickness of tailpiece. That's the other reason I really like these, is they're very universal. You can use a wide variety, and it comes with a wide variety of tailpieces or through bolts that go through, so that you can adapt this to thick doors, thin doors. I mean, there is literally almost nothing that you can't lock up with one of these type of locks. Now, if you have any binding as you try and tighten those screws down, you've probably got the tailpiece just a little bit too long and it's causing a little bit of binding, so you can trim it down or just loosen screws. Here we're going to be rehanding the Lockley C150. It's turning in the wrong direction currently, so we're going to go ahead and change that and see how it turns in that one direction. I need it to turn in the other direction. Another reason why these are so universal. So all we need to do is take this screw out that I'm pointing to here and here. We've got 2 screws, Phillips head screws. We're going to pop both of those out. As you can see, it comes apart fairly easily. Get your little screwdriver in there, pop that plate off, and then it's as simple as moving that locking pin to the other side. So we'll just grab it with some pliers, pick it up, switch it over to the other side, and now it will allow rotation in the opposite direction and not in the other direction. Therefore, you've rehanded the lock depending on which way your door slides. Then make sure that it sits flush and flat. Go ahead and put your screws back in place. Always want to do this on a table or somewhere where you can make sure that you keep track of all of those screws. Very, very important. And now it turns in the other direction as opposed to the direction that it turned before. You can easily see, we'll put the code in, and it turns in the opposite direction. So if you have to hand your or rehand your Lockheed C150 lock, this is exactly how you do that, and it can be done in the field, which is extremely important. Again, yet another reason why I keep these on the truck. I really like these locks. There's almost nothing that you can't lock up, from cabinets to gates to sliding glass doors. And now you can see that it locks in the correct direction, and I'm showing how that hook bolt slides through. Also on this application, we've used some extra large, long screws for the catch size so that it goes deep into a solid piece of wood and it's not just mounted to a little piece of trim. And then from the outside, you can see it turns in one direction so that you can lock the door. That would be locking the door from the outside. You do not need to put the code in to lock the door. You simply just need to turn and twist, and it will automatically only go in one direction, the locking direction, and then you must have the code. So there we go, we turned it, and then you must have the code to go ahead and lock the door after you are done. It doesn't turn in the other direction. Everything's locked up nice and tight. You can also see that frontline defense latch guard for a sliding glass door on here as well. We've shown how to do that quite a few times. An amazing product. Next, we're going to put the Hinge Dr to use. You can see the gap in between the hinge and the door along with the frame. Simply slide the Hinge Dr over the hinge and give it a little twist with the crescent wrench, and now you're adjusted. Okay, so several complex pieces here. We had to take this key that was broken off in this cylinder and get it removed. And then we had to decode it and cut two new keys, and the multi-point hardware was all jammed up too. So we were able to do that, and now we have a good current working key, as you can see here. And now we can go put all this back together for the client. Alrighty. Now we're going to do a rundown of a typical lockout. What I'll do is spray some lubrication in the lock first, and then we'll use the LISHI decoding tool to go ahead and pick the lock. Once it's been picked, I can then decode it and figure out exactly what the cuts are without having to take the lock apart. So I will document that. I'll run through and write down what I think the code is one way, and then I'll do it another way. And if there's any half cuts, I'll go ahead and record those just in case. Then I'll use the Rytan 2000 that does both Schlage and quickset keys. Looks like we have to change the jaw out on this one from Schlage to quickset. So it's easy enough to just pull that RY 2000 plate off, switch the space and depth cutter to the Schlage version, grab a couple key blanks. I have it mounted on my Milwaukee pack-out system here, so this is how I literally do most of my lockouts, because there was about 14 different flights of stairs to get to this particular location. And there you have it. We now have a key made. Got to take photos of fun stuff when you see it.
Hey everyone, this is Wayne, and WORKIZ now makes it even easier for you. I have been using the WORKIZ platform for invoicing all of these jobs that you've seen on this locksmith documentary. We utilize the invoicing platform, we utilize the field management service through WORKIZ, and now they have an AI assistant as well. This AI assistant genius can help answer calls, book calls. It's like a business coach in a box built into your business to help you analyze when your calls are coming, when you can capture up sales, what you can do to improve your business. And it's an absolute game changer. This is so amazing. I highly recommend checking the AI options out. If you already have the WORKIZ platform, ask about the Genius program. If you don't have WORKIZ, check out the link below and sign up for a free trial and demo today. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Today we're going to be installing the Lockley Visage from Lockley. This is the bolt, the lock bolt, deadbolt portion. You'll notice that there's a little stamp that says up. Make sure that that goes up, and make sure you set it on the correct back set. There's a 2 3/4 and 2 3/8 inch option. You simply twist the bolt to select, then screw it down into place. We're going to be installing it on this demo version here, or this little demo block, so that you can really get an idea of what's going on. Next, align the tailpiece in the vertical position, both on the lock bolt, which will throw the lock bolt, and the tailpiece itself. Then we're going to run the wires through the bottom portion of the back plate, and then we're going to bring everything together and screw things together using the black screws on a normal standard thickness door. The Lockley Visage is the only lock that I'm aware of that offers a thick door kit included in the kit as well. Then you're going to make all the connections. You're going to connect that one wire, and then you're going to connect this connection right here, and you're going to tuck everything into place. And the larger connection, that smaller connection, is going to tuck right into the bottom of the lock where you see here where I'm pointing. And then the larger connection is actually designed to get stuffed back into the void in the door so that the lock can sit flat. Now you'll notice the little groove cut out for the door position sensor, or DPS. Make sure that the wire goes through there and that it's not pinched in any way, shape, or form, and you have enough wire to reach the door position sensor to the edge of the door. Once you have that in place, then you can go ahead and use the 4 short screws that you just saw there and screw the back of the lock onto the mounting plate. Now make sure that you have your battery fully charged, and then make sure that the battery is orientated in the correct position, and plug it into the battery and the lock itself. It would be a good idea to make sure you have a battery pack charged at all times, because these are not going to come fully charged. So always make sure that you charge that battery up before you do your installation. Here is the programming button. As soon as you get everything installed in the battery, go ahead and press the programming button, hold it for a few seconds, and it will hand and orientate the lock as to which handing it is. Once that happens, you can then test the key. I always like to test the key for function, make sure that the key works, and make sure everything is working nice and smooth. Make sure it's working smooth from the inside and the outside. You can then add this QR code above the lock, which will give you the opportunity to use it as an intercom. Simply follow the instructions, and you are now set with your Lockley Visage. Go ahead and register your face along with a fingerprint and set up a master code. Do this all by downloading the app and then scanning the QR code and getting everything lined up where it needs to be, along with filling out your warranty sheet and everything else included with the Lockley Visage. This has been a demonstration by Wayne Winton. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your Lockley. As a small business, RMR, or recurring monthly revenue, is a huge factor and has literally changed the way I do business. Simply by leaving some information about the Halo Pulsar security system can add thousands to your monthly income. Click below.
Hey, what's going on? This is Wayne here, and we are continuing our on-demand series. This is our introduction to safe moving and installation. We go through all the different things. This is one of those categories where a lot of people don't do this. There's not a lot of people that do safe moving, or at least do professional safe moving the way that it's supposed to be done, where you don't damage the container and you don't damage the safe itself. Okay, I show you so much information. You are going to be over-delivered. I over-deliver in this course, and I put a guarantee behind it. If you are not 100% satisfied and you did not learn something or see something that you didn't know before, guess what? I'll give you a money-back guarantee, no questions asked. You say, hey, I didn't get something out of this. I want to give you your money back, but you're not going to do that, because I know that I'm taking you over my shoulder. I'm taking you on real jobs and real situations, not classroom setting where you're going to run into those real world problems and you're going to need real world solutions in an instant. We show how to be safe during safe moving. As you can see here, we show you how to not turn into this guy and have a safe fall on you, because that is not good safe moving. Okay? This is not your handyman that's trying to be a safe mover. This is professional safe moving.
Okay, understanding safes and weights. You need to understand how to gauge the weight of that safe, how to figure out how much it weighs. You need to know this if you're going upstairs so you don't overload your stair climber. We show how to use the stair climber. We do a site inspection, how to do a site survey, how to see if that safe will actually fit where the customer wants it, because they don't understand what it actually takes to move a 2,000 or 4,000 pound safe up the stairs and into their home. Okay, you need to be able to tell them, hey, this is not possible, and you need to be confident enough that you can say, this landing isn't correct. We can't get the safe turned around on here, so you don't get stuck on the landing with a 1,000-pound safe and no way to go. Once you get trapped, you're trapped. It's going to be a bad time. We show you how to do floor protection, how to cover everything, how to level a safe. If you didn't know, if you land a big safe, a big heavy-duty, high-security safe, and you don't level that properly, and the door keeps swinging back and forth, somebody could get hurt, somebody could get injured, and you could even be liable for that. So we show you how to level the safe. We show you how to crane a safe out of a house or into location. We show you all the tools that are required to do this. We show you the stair climbers. We show you the tools that are used to mount safes into cabinetry, like right here. We've even moved safes up over the river, through the woods, and over to grandma's house over retaining walls, as you can see right here. We go over cribbing, how to crib, what is cribbing, how to use it, how to get a safe up in the air, when to use it, and how to do it safely. We also show you how to bolt the safe down with all the different anchors and all the different things that you need to do it. So click the link below, buy this course, start putting money in your bank account. Thousands of dollars are at stake. Thanks for watching.